Question 1. Which of the following is a key requirement for the licensure of insurance producers in New Mexico? A. Producers must complete 10 hours of continuing education every year. B. Producers are required to maintain a valid business address in New Mexico. C. Producers must pass a state-specific licensing exam. D. Producers must be at least 30 years of age. Answer: C. Producers must pass a state-specific licensing exam. Explanation: in New Mexico, insurance producers, agents, and brokers are required to pass a state-specific licensing exam. This ensures that individuals seeking to sell or service insurance products in New Mexico have a clear understanding of the state's laws and regulations. Continuing education requirements are also part of the regulatory framework, but they determine initial licensure. Additionally, there is no age requirement of 30 for licensing, and a valid business address is not a core requirement for obtaining a license. Question 2. Mr. David, a health insurance producer, has received a complaint from a client regarding a denied claim. The client believes the claim was unfairly denied. According to New Mexico regulations, what is the first action Mr. David should take in this situation? A. Immediately contact the insurer and advocate for the client's claim. B. File formal complaint with the New Mexico Insurance Division. C. Review the insurer's policy guidelines and denial reasons with the client. D. Suggest that the client consult with an attorney for legal advice. Answer: C. Review the insurer's policy guidelines and denial reasons with the client. Explanation: in New Mexico, insurance producers are required to ensure that their clients understand the terms and provisions of their policies. In this scenario, Mr. David should first review the specific reasons for the denial, as outlined in the insurance policy, to determine if the claim was properly denied according to the contract. If there appears to be an error or dispute, the next step would be to assist the client in filing a complaint or request for review with the insurer. Filing a complaint with the New Mexico Insurance Division is a later step if the issue remains unresolved. Legal advice is not typically needed unless there are legal issues beyond the scope of insurance regulations. Question 3. Which of the following statements regarding insurance fraud laws in New Mexico is true? A. Insurance fraud only involves misrepresentation by the insured, not the insurer. B. Insurance producers are legally obligated to report suspected fraudulent activities to the New Mexico Insurance Division. C. The New Mexico Insurance Fraud Bureau does not investigate fraud related to health insurance claims. D. Insurance fraud penalties in New Mexico are limited to monetary fines with no possibility of imprisonment. Answer: B. Insurance producers are legally obligated to report suspected fraudulent activities to the New Mexico Insurance Division. Explanation: in New Mexico, insurance producers are required by law to report any suspected fraudulent activities to the New Mexico Insurance Division. This includes instances of fraudulent claims or misrepresentation by either the insured or the insurer. Option A is incorrect, as fraud can involve both the insured and the insurer. Option C is also incorrect, as the New Mexico Insurance Fraud Bureau investigates fraud across various types of insurance, including health insurance. Option D is incorrect, as penalties for insurance fraud can include both monetary fines and imprisonment, depending on the severity of the offense. Question 4. An insurance company in New Mexico wants to increase its premium rates for homeowners insurance. What is the company required to do before implementing the rate change? A. Submit the new rates to the New Mexico Office of Superintendent of Insurance, OC, for prior approval. B. Notify all current policyholders at least 30 days in advance of the rate change. C. Obtain written consent from policyholders before applying the new rates. D. Implement the rate change immediately as long as it is within market standards. Answer A. Submit the new rates to the New Mexico Office of Superintendent of Insurance, OC, for prior approval. Explanation: New Mexico law requires insurers to submit proposed rate changes to the OC for review and approval before implementing them. This ensures that the rates are fair, adequate, and not discriminatory. Notification to policyholders is required after approval, but prior consent from policyholders is not a requirement. Question 5. Which of the following would be considered an unfair claims settlement practice under New Mexico law? A. Denying a claim when the policy clearly excludes the loss. B. Failing to acknowledge receipt of a claim within a reasonable time. C. Offering a settlement that is lower than the amount requested by the insured. D. Conducting a thorough investigation before paying a claim. Answer: B. Failing to acknowledge receipt of a claim within a reasonable time. Explanation: New Mexico's Unfair Claims Practices Act outlines various unfair practices, including failing to promptly acknowledge communications regarding claims, delaying investigations without reason, and not providing a timely settlement offer. Denying a claim that is excluded by the policy is permissible, as is negotiating settlements based on the claim's merits. Question 6. Scenario-based MS. Carla, a licensed producer in New Mexico, notices that a new client, Mr. A, has misrepresented information on his life insurance application to get a low premium. What should MS Carla do in this situation? A. Ignore the misrepresentation and process the application to meet her sales quota. B. Inform Mr. Ray that his policy will be voided if the insurer discovers the misrepresentation. C. Report the suspected fraud to the New Mexico Insurance Fraud Bureau immediately. D. Contact the insurer and request a higher premium to compensate for the misrepresentation. Answer: C. Report the suspected fraud to the New Mexico Insurance Fraud Bureau immediately. Explanation: In New Mexico, insurance producers are legally obligated to report any suspected fraudulent activities, including misrepresentation on insurance applications. Ignoring the fraud or attempting to adjust the premium would be unethical and illegal. The insurer may void the policy if the misrepresentation is discovered, but that action is by the insurer, not the producer. Question 7. Which of the following types of property and casualty insurance is mandated by New Mexico state law? A. Flood insurance. B. Earthquake insurance. C. Workers' compensation insurance. D. Renters insurance. Answer: C. Workers' compensation insurance. Explanation: In New Mexico, employers are required to provide workers' compensation insurance to cover workplace injuries. Flood and earthquake insurance are not mandatory but may be required by mortgage lenders in specific areas. Renters insurance is not mandated by law, although landlords may require it as part of lease agreement. Question 8. Which of the following advertising practices by an insurance producer in New Mexico is prohibited under state law? A. Comparing the features of different policies from multiple insurers. B. Offering a gift card valued at $20 as a promotional incentive. C. Using misleading language to imply that a policy is guaranteed to provide financial gain. D. Providing a detailed policy brochure to prospective clients. Answer: C. Using misleading language to imply that a policy is guaranteed to provide financial gain. Explanation: New Mexico regulations prohibit misleading or deceptive advertising practices in the insurance industry. Producers cannot imply that policies offer guaranteed returns or benefits unless specifically outlined in the policy. Offering small promotional items is generally allowed if within regulatory limits. Question 9. Which of the following situations would most likely result in a market conduct examination of an insurance company by the New Mexico OC? A. An insurer reports a net profit increase of 20% for the year. B. A competitor files a complaint alleging the company is engaging in unfair trade practices. C. The company introduces a new type of life insurance product. D. The company hires a new EO with no prior insurance experience. Answer: B. A competitor files a complaint alleging the company is engaging in unfair trade practices. Explanation: Market conduct examinations are typically initiated in response to complaints or evidence suggesting that an insurer may be violating laws or engaging in unfair practices. Regulatory bodies conduct these examinations to ensure compliance with laws and protect consumers. Question 10. Under New Mexico law, what is the maximum penalty for a licensed insurance producer who is found guilty of engaging in fraudulent practices? A. $1,000 fine and license suspension for 1 year. B. $5,000 fine and mandatory retraining. C. $10,000 fine per violation and possible imprisonment. D. Revocation of license without the possibility of reinstatement. Answer: C. $10,000 fine per violation and possible imprisonment. Explanation: New Mexico law imposes severe penalties for fraudulent activities, including fines of up to $10,000 per violation and possible imprisonment. In addition, the producer's license may be suspended or revoked. The severity of the penalty depends on the nature and extent of the fraudulent conduct. Question 11. Which of the following is a requirement for surplus lines brokers in New Mexico? A. They must be licensed as both a producer and adjuster. B. They must submit all policy forms for approval before issuing coverage. C. They must file an annual affidavit with the New Mexico OC. D. They are only permitted to place insurance with admitted insurers. Answer: C. They must file an annual affidavit with the New Mexico OC. Explanation: surplus lines brokers in New Mexico must file an annual affidavit with the OC confirming that they have followed all applicable laws and regulations. They are allowed to place insurance with non-admitted insurers when coverage is unavailable from admitted insurers. Policy forms for surplus lines are not subject to prior approval. Question 12. What is one of the primary responsibilities of the New Mexico Office of Superintendent of Insurance, OC? A. Represent policyholders in legal disputes against insurers. B. Enforce solvency standards to ensure insurance companies remain financially stable. C. Provide legal advice to insurance producers regarding state regulations. D. Approve all marketing materials used by insurance companies. Answer: B. Enforce solvency standards to ensure insurance companies remain financially stable. Explanation: the New Mexico OC is responsible for enforcing solvency standards to ensure that insurers operating in the state remain financially stable and able to meet their obligations to policyholders. The OC also conducts financial examinations and reviews rate filings to protect consumers. Question 13. Under New Mexico's Insurance Fraud Act, which of the following is considered fraudulent act? A. Filing legitimate claim for covered loss. B. Disclosing policyholders' private information without consent. C. Misrepresenting material fact to obtain insurance benefits. D. Denying claim based on policy exclusions. Answer: C. Misrepresenting a material fact to obtain insurance benefits. Explanation: fraudulent acts under New Mexico law include any intentional misrepresentation of material facts to obtain insurance benefits. This can involve submitting false claims, concealing information, or making false statements on applications. Question 14. Which of the following is a legal requirement for all life and health insurance policies issued in New Mexico? A. The policy must include a 60-day free look period. B. The policy must provide coverage for pre-existing conditions from the start date. C. The policy must contain a guaranteed renewability clause. D. The policy must be written in clear and easily understandable language. Answer: D. The policy must be written in clear and easily understandable language. Explanation: New Mexico law mandates that insurance policies must be written in a way that is clear and understandable to the average consumer. The state also requires policies to have a free look period, typically 30 days, depending on the policy type, but it is not necessarily 60 days. Guaranteed renewability and pre-existing coverage depend on the type of policy. Question 15. Under New Mexico law, an insurance producer must notify the Office of Superintendent of Insurance, OC, within what time frame if they change their legal name or address? A. 10 days. B. 15 days. C. 30 days. D. 60 days. Answer: C. 30 days. Explanation: New Mexico law requires insurance producers to notify the OC of any changes to their legal name or address within 30 days. Failure to do so may result in fines or disciplinary actions, including the suspension or revocation of their license. Question 16. Scenario-based. Mr. Sanchez, an insurance producer in New Mexico, has a client, MS Perez, who recently filed a homeowner's claim. MS Perez is frustrated with how long the insurer is taking to settle the claim. Mr. Sanchez advises MS Perez to threaten legal action against the insurer to speed up the process. What should Mr. Sanchez have done instead? A. Continue encouraging MS Perez to pursue legal action to ensure the claim is resolved quickly. B. Contact the claims adjuster to speed up the investigation. C. Advise MS Perez to file a formal complaint with the New Mexico Office of Superintendent of Insurance, OC. D. Recommend that MS Perez cancel a policy and find another insurer. Answer: C. Advise MS Perez to file a formal complaint with the New Mexico Office of Superintendent of Insurance, OC. Explanation: if a client feels that an insurer is engaging in unfair claim settlement practices, the appropriate course of action is to file a formal complaint with the OC. Insurance producers should never encourage clients to threaten legal action or cancel their policy without exploring regulatory channels first. Question 17. Which of the following is a prohibited action under New Mexico's Unfair Trade Practices Act? A. Offering policyholder premium discount for bundling multiple policies. B. Charging higher premium based on the policyholder's occupation. C. Misrepresenting the benefits or terms of policy. D. Using policy exclusions to deny claim. Answer: C. Misrepresenting the benefits or terms of a policy. Explanation: misrepresentation of a policy's benefits, terms, or conditions is violation of New Mexico's Unfair Trade Practices Act. Offering discounts or denying claims based on valid policy exclusions is allowed if done in accordance with the policy terms and state regulations. Question 18. How often must the Office of Superintendent of Insurance (OC) conduct a financial examination of every licensed insurer in New Mexico? A. Every year. B. Every 3 years. C. Every 5 years. D. Every 10 years. Answer: C. Every 5 years. Explanation: the OC is required to conduct a financial examination of every licensed insurer in New Mexico at least once every 5 years. These examinations ensure that insurers remain financially stable and are able to meet their obligations to policyholders. Question 19. Which of the following statements about New Mexico's continuing education C. requirements for insurance producers is true? A. Producers must complete 12 hours of C every year. B. C. requirements apply only to life insurance producers. C. Producers must complete 24 hours of C every 2 years, including 3 hours of ethics training. D. C. courses can only be completed in person. Answer: C. Producers must complete 24 hours of C every 2 years, including 3 hours of ethics training. Explanation: New Mexico insurance producers must complete 24 hours of continuing education C every 2 years, with at least 3 hours dedicated to ethics training. The courses can be completed in person or online through approved providers. Question 20. In New Mexico, an insurer can cancel a personal auto insurance policy for non-payment of premium by providing how many days' notice to the policyholder? A. 10 days. B. 15 days. C. 30 days. D. 45 days. Answer A. 10 days. Explanation: in New Mexico, if a policyholder fails to pay their auto insurance premium, the insurer can cancel the policy by providing 10 days notice of cancellation. For reasons other than non-payment, the required notice period may be longer, typically 30 days. Question 21. Which of the following is a requirement for insurance producers when recommending an annuity in New Mexico? A. Producers must disclose all commissions received from the sale of the annuity. B. Producers must ensure the annuity is suitable based on the client's financial situation and needs. C. Producers must provide a 90-day free look period for annuities. D. Producers must guarantee the annuity's performance. Answer: B. Producers must ensure the annuity is suitable based on the client's financial situation and needs. Explanation: New Mexico law requires that insurance producers assess the suitability of an annuity recommendation based on the client's financial goals, risk tolerance, and needs. Producers are not required to disclose commissions or guarantee performance, and the free look period for annuities is typically 1030 days. 90. Question 22. A New Mexico insurance producer has their license revoked for committing fraud. How long must they wait before applying for a new license? A. 1 year. B. 3 years. C. 5 years. D. They cannot reapply for a license. Answer: C. 5 years. Explanation: under New Mexico law, if an insurance producer's license is revoked, they must wait 5 years before reapplying. This ensures that only ethical and responsible individuals are licensed to sell insurance in the state. Question 23. Which of the following is true regarding policyholder protections provided by the New Mexico Insurance Guarantee Association? A. It protects policyholders from all losses if their insurer becomes insolvent. B. It provides coverage only for life insurance policies. C. It limits coverage for claims to a specified maximum amount. D. It applies only to policies issued after 2020. Answer: C. It limits coverage for claims to a specified maximum amount. Explanation: the New Mexico Insurance Guarantee Association provides limited protection to policyholders if their insurer becomes insolvent. The coverage limits vary by policy type, and there are caps on the amounts paid to claimants. Question 24. What is the penalty for an insurance company in New Mexico that engages in unfair claims settlement practices? A. License suspension only. B. A fine of up to $1,000 per violation. C. A fine of up to $5,000 per violation. D. Both license suspension and a fine. Answer: D. Both license suspension and a fine. Explanation: in New Mexico, insurers that engage in unfair claims settlement practices can face both license suspension and financial penalties. The fines can be significant depending on the severity of the violation. Question 25. An insurance producer in New Mexico is found guilty of a felony involving dishonesty. What action must they take regarding their insurance license? A. They must notify the OC within 30 days. B. They must surrender their license immediately. C. They must wait until their renewal to report the offense. D. They do not need to report the offense. Answer A. They must notify the OC within 30 days. Explanation. New Mexico law requires producers to report any criminal conviction involving dishonesty or breach of trust to the Office of Superintendent of Insurance, OC, within 30 days. Question 26. Scenario-based. MS. Martinez is a licensed insurance producer in New Mexico. She meets with a new client, Mr. Lopez, to discuss purchasing a life insurance policy. During the meeting, MS. Martinez fails to inform Mr. Lopez about the policy's exclusions and limitations. Mr. Lopez later files a complaint claiming he was misled. What violation has MS. Martinez committed? A. Rebating. B. Misrepresentation. C. Twisting. D. Churning. Answer. B. Misrepresentation. Explanation. Failing to disclose important information such as policy exclusions and limitations is considered misrepresentation. Insurance producers must provide clear and accurate information to clients to avoid misleading them. Question 27. Under New Mexico's continuing education C requirements, how many hours must be completed on the topic of ethics? A. 1 hour every 2 years. B. 2 hours every year. C. 3 hours every 2 years. D. 5 hours every 3 years. Answer. C. 3 hours every 2 years. Explanation. New Mexico requires insurance producers to complete 24 hours of C every 2 years, including 3 hours specifically focused on ethics. Question 20. Which of the following is permitted under New Mexico's anti-rebating laws? A. Giving client cash gift for purchasing policy. B. Offering client free insurance in exchange for referral. C. Providing client with promotional item valued at $25. D. Offering discount on the premium after the policy is issued. Answer. C. Providing a client with a promotional item valued at $25. Explanation. Under New Mexico's anti-rebating laws, small promotional items such as pens or calendars valued at $25 or less are allowed. Cash gifts, free insurance, and premium discounts are considered rebating, which is prohibited. Question 29. Which of the following is an unfair practice under New Mexico law? A. Refusing to insure a high-risk applicant. B. Denying a claim based on a policy exclusion. C. Failing to provide a timely response to a policyholder inquiry. D. Offering a higher deductible option. Answer. C. Failing to provide a timely response to a policyholder inquiry. Explanation. New Mexico law considers failing to provide a timely response to a policyholder's inquiry or claim to be an unfair practice. Insurers are required to handle claims and inquiries in a timely and efficient manner. Question 30. An insurer licensed in New Mexico is required to keep records of all transactions for at least A. 3 years, B. 5 years, C. 7 years, D. 10 years. Answer. B. 5 years. Explanation. New Mexico law requires insurers to maintain records of all policy transactions for at least 5 years. This includes policy applications, claims, and communications with policyholders.